Bethany Manctalo here. Welcome to our Millwall Fans Show with some new voices, but the same focus. Just everything Millwall. Enjoy!
Welcome to the 2025-26 season of Millwall No One Likes Us Talkin's Our Millwall Fans Show. I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and excited to be here with the fantastic No One Likes Us Talking team of, well, I'll say, hello, Jeff Burnige.
Hello, Eamonn.
Good to have you here. Hello, on your debut, Andy Pettman.
Hi, Eamonn.
Great to have you on. And hello, Steve Warren.
Hi, Eamonn.
Good to have you here.
Not everybody likes them, but they don't care.
We do really. But now, as we look ahead to Monday's game at the Den against Watford, Paul Robinson, Scott Fitzgerald and Tony Cascarino are delighted to be the upcoming inductees into Millwall's Forever Lions Club. They will be presented with their certificates and ties during half-time of Monday night's exciting game. We will also reflect on our performance at Palace with our guests. We will chat about that a bit later, but let's pause for now and hear about our sponsor, G&M Motors.
Hi, this is Jess Tuffield from G&M Motors. Operating from a modern and purpose-built facility in Milton Road, Gravesend, G&M Motors offers a complete range of new Honda cars and services. As well as new Hondas, we have an extensive range of used cars, including ex-Motability cars from a variety of manufacturers. Specialising in new Honda cars, G&M Motors has been retailing quality new and used vehicles to the people of Kent and South East London for over 4 decades. We have been a Honda dealership since 1972 and are the country's longest serving supplier of this renowned marque. Conveniently sited just 2 miles from the A2, 10 miles from the M25 and Dartford Crossing, visitors to our showroom are assured a warm welcome from our experienced and friendly staff. Our facilities include an on-site workshop capable of providing full vehicle servicing and repairs, as well as an extensive parts department offering genuine Honda parts and accessories. The expertise of our skilled mechanics is not limited to just Hondas, but extends to most makes and models of motor vehicles. Whatever your motoring needs, visit us at G&M Motors today. The newly extended hours of our G&M headquarters means that you can contact us from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. on weekdays and 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. on Saturdays. To contact us, call us today on 01474 365 026.
Thank you, Jess. Debbie Julian's here. Don't forget to call Jess on 01474 81 3562. G&M Motors have been dear friends with the Julians family for over 4 decades now. From my dad Lenny to me, Debbie, Lions together.
I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Andy Pettman, Jeff Burnige and Steve Warren. Many thanks to our sponsor G&M Motors. Why not check the Hondas out and see what else they might have on site at Gravesend? Our first guest has appeared in the movies The Bromley Boys and more recently Danny Dyer's Marching Powder. It's that Millwall fan who helps out at the Lions Food Hub. Yes, it's Craig Wilson-Spike.
Hi, Craig. It's Jeff Burnige.
Good evening, everyone. Evening, Jeff.
Hi, Craig. It's Andy here.
Hi, Andy.
Hi, Craig. It's Steve here.
Hey, Steve.
Do you know that's the best they've ever done that? So consider that a tribute to you being on here tonight, Craig.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely brilliant. Craig, it's terrific to have you on with us. Switching from the Bromley Boys to Marching Powder must have been, well, quite the journey. And what was it like to spend time with such talented actors as Danny Dyer, Jeff Bell, Stephanie Leonidas, Bailey Patrick, and of course, Nick Love, the passionate Millwall fan who wrote and directed the film? Surely made it even more special.
It was an amazing experience. Yeah, so switching from the Bromley Boys to Marching Powder was a real journey, 2 very different styles of films. It was and it was amazing to work with Danny and all the others you mentioned. I mean, they're all very talented people, and you just learn from those people. It makes you step up your own game. And you just learn so much. And then in terms of working with Nick, it was a real honour. I mean, you can see just by the films that he's done the amount that he's admired in the industry, and you can really tell his passion for the Lions. It really does come across.
It's fantastic. Thanks for that.
Hi, Craig. It's Steve here.
Hi, Steve.
Hi. How did you get involved in working at the Lions Food Hub with Kelly and Ellen? And what's it like managing donations?
Yeah, I got involved with the Food Hub as my stepmom Karen is an ambassador for it. And when she told me about the project, I jumped at the chance to help, as I'm very passionate about what they do. And working with Kelly and Ellen and Sue is lovely, and you can see how passionate they are about helping out as well. And in terms of managing donations, it's either by card or by cash, and it's just what anything can be a massive donation, where it's 5p or £50. It really doesn't matter. Just everything is welcome.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's a great initiative.
It's Jeff here, Craig. My question is about the last two games. Wasn't that a tale of two London derbies? Us drawing with Charlton at the Valley, and in the Championship, that is, and then in the Carabao Cup against Palace at Selhurst, albeit losing on penalties. What were your thoughts about those two games?
Well, hi, Jeff. It was really, like you said, a tale of two derbies. I think if you ask any true Millwall fan, you would admit that the Charlton game was definitely not our best performance. But when it came to Palace, it was a completely different story. I mean, I believe that we actually were the better team in that game, regardless of the end result. To me, in the end of the day, penalties is luck. You either score or you don't, or the keeper could have a blinder. So in terms of, I always take performances over penalties. And so to go toe-to-toe with a Premier League side like Palace, because they only had 3 players out from their previous Premier League side, and I think we made 8 changes, then had to make 2 during the game, 1 before kickoff, and then Dan Kelly having to go off, and the amount of injuries we've had before that game. So to, like I said, go toe-to-toe with a real Premier League team with Gahey, who was literally linked with a move to Liverpool, says it all, and I was so proud to watch that.
Yeah, I agree. I think we were underestimating how desperate Charlton were to beat us, and they were certainly more up for that game than most people were expecting. In the end, we did start to make inroads in the second half, even before the red card, and I think in the end, even the Charlton fans were saying fair result. For the Palace game, I just would like people to reflect on how young and inexperienced our team was. I don't know if anyone can name, there was one player in our starting 11 who'd played more than 35 league games.
Yeah, I agree.
That player? Can you name that player? It wasn't in the starting 11. It's Wes Harding, and no one would consider him a first choice.
No, absolutely not. And like you said, the youth. I mean, we even had Derek, who's making his debut, doesn't even speak very good English. He's making his first step into English football. So to even do that is a testament to how well he did.
Well, particularly he was playing alongside a Scotsman. Those two could never possibly have communicated.
No, I think, like you said, it shows what he is capable of and what we have to look forward to when he steps out of that pitch at the Den and going forward.
Are you positive about that, Jeff?
I thought that the game against Coventry in the previous round was similar. We made a lot of changes. If you remember, Coventry brought on their heavy hitters in the second half, made no impression, although they did get... If I remember correctly, they got a late penalty, didn't they, in that game?
They did, yes.
Yeah. Again, motivation is so important, isn't it? And it's great that when we made that number of changes, and let's be fair, Alex Neil's earned the right to prioritise the league if that's what he wants to do. Even though some of our fans were thinking Palace were there for the taking. Superb performance. I must say, I don't think any of our 5 penalty takers had ever taken a penalty in a first team game, so I wasn't surprised at the outcome. I've watched it again since. I was just delighted, and so as I was after the Coventry game. So that's my view, and team selection between now and Christmas is going to be very, very interesting, particularly as we have so many injuries.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But I mean, the injuries, I think, and again, throughout the league, I don't think any other team's probably got as many injuries as we've had in a very short space of time. So we've had to adjust many lineups.
Yeah, good points all round there, guys.
Hi, Craig. Andy here.
Hi, Andy.
Hiya. Do you have any upcoming screen work or other ambitions in this field?
Not at the moment, but it's always good to have a foot in the door working with people like Nick and Warren, who was doing the Bromley Boys. So they always say, like, if there's any opportunities, let's always have those connections. But yeah, I've always wanted to work in this industry. I've studied drama from a young age. I think I was 11 when I did my first ever drama lesson. So yeah, it's something I've always been passionate about.
Cool, thanks. And what are your hopes for this season for Millwall? Back to the football.
Oh, well, my hopes, and I think we've been knocking on the door for the last maybe 2-3 seasons for that playoff spot. And I believe we can do it. I believe we can do it once we get everyone back fit. And I mean, you look at the strength and depth we will have once you get the likes of Aziz, Mitchell, Denor. It will make for a very good bench and a very good starting 11. And I think Alex will have a very good headache to have. So I think we can do it. And I am looking forward to seeing all those players back.
Great stuff. Well, Craig, it's now the time that we ask you for your predictions for 3 championship games in Ted's Prediction League. The best score predicting skills of the season will be rewarded. So, you could be a winner. So here we go, Craig. Millwall versus Watford. What do you reckon the score will be there?
I believe we're going to nick it, and I'm saying it's going to be a 2-1 win for the Lions.
And what about Leicester and Coventry?
I'm really looking forward to this one. 2 very good teams. I think that is going to be a 1-1 draw.
And Sheffield United against our last opponents, Charlton.
So, I mean, the Chris Wilder thing, I think he's going to throw a spanner in the works. So I'm actually going to say that I think with the new manager thing, I'm going to go with a 2-0 win to Sheffield United.
Well, that's always possible. It's almost a wild card, never mind the Wilder. But, yeah, that'll be interesting. Apart from that, Jeffet Tanganga will want to help us out on that. Put it all past Charlton. Anyway, great predictions. Thanks so much for joining us, Craig. Wishing you all the best. And, of course, warm wishes to you, your family and yours. And for now, bye. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Craig.
Take care.
Thanks, Craig.
Bye, Craig.
See you later. Pleasure as always.
Our pleasure too. Thank you. Good night. Well, we'll take a break there. We won't bake anything. We'll just take a break instead. And we'll hear from Harvey Brown as he talks about, strangely enough, the Lions Food Hub.
Hi, Harvey Brown here. I am proud of the Lions Food Hub, which is jointly owned by Kelly and Ellen Webster, and they have been supporting families within our community on Millwall match days. If you would like to donate to them, they have a match day donation hub by the SE16 bar at Colblow Lane, end of the ground, where they accept any food or money and toiletry donations. If you can help, any donations will be received with thanks.
Thanks, Harvey. I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay. With me, I have the No One Likes Us talking team of Andy Pettman, Steve Warren and Jeff Burnige. If you're attending the Den on a match day, go to the van zone at the Coldblow Lane end to donate food and funds. Or during the week, visit the Millwall Community Trust Lions Centre to make donations. Many will be aware that Elice Barr underwent an operation to improve her mobility. She is now at home and undergoing physio. Her efforts in a video absolutely were great, and I think she's a brave young woman. The No One Likes Us Talking team, Millwall Lionesses, and many of our listeners wish you the best for your continuing recovery. Well, here's Elice.
Hello, Elice here, and I'm glad to be back talking about Millwall. I know many have watched my videos. Thanks for your support along the way. It is now time to hear what all the Millwall teams are up to. Come on, Millwall!
Thanks as always, Elice. Paul Loding brings us the Millwall Romans and Pride update.
Hi, it's Paul over at the Millwall Romans with just a little update for us. This weekend sees Pride play the first league game of the season. They're against Stonewall. They're kicking off at West Ham at 1 o'clock and we'll be donning the new kits that have just been delivered to us. Pride at West Ham Memorial Ground, 1 p.m. on Sunday. In terms of predictions, obviously a bit devastating with Millwall losing to Crystal Palace in the week. But I think they're going to come back fighting. Millwall-Watford, I think Millwall are going to beat them 2-0. Leicester-Coventry, that's going to be a good game. I'm going to say that's going to be a draw, 1-1. And Sheffield United-Charlton are never going to win that one. So Sheffield United 3, Charlton 0.
Well, there's some interesting paralleled predictions, to say the least. Now, the Lionesses hosted Dartford on Sunday, and Myles picked up the story for Maritime Radio as the Darts media representative. Strange, that one, but there you go.
The Millwall Lionesses endured a difficult afternoon at St Paul Sports Ground on Sunday, falling to a 5-0 defeat against Dartford in front of a strong home crowd. The visitors struck almost immediately with just 2 minutes on the clock. Abby Davis's corner was flicked on at the near post and fell kindly for Mercedes Bromfield, who fired home from close range to give Dartford an early lead. The away side looked sharp in the opening exchanges, and on 5 minutes, Gabriella Howell forced Lionesses' debutant goalkeeper, Jessica Deans, into a fine save from distance. Deans, who was recently signed on loan from WSL side Brighton Hove Albion, showed her quality throughout, and despite a 5-0 loss, made some fine saves throughout the game. Millwall grew into the game and carved out a chance to level on 11 minutes. Kira Watling slipped through Mia Lockett, who saw her low effort well saved by Dartford goalkeeper Jay Charlton. It was the Lionesses' best opening of the half, but they were made to pay for missed chances as Dartford extended their advantage shortly before the break. With just over 10 minutes of the first half remaining, lean winner Ekwo latched onto a long ball from Charlton and kept her composure to beat Deans 1-on-1. Deep into stoppage time, the visitors made it 3 through Davies, who found the top corner from a direct free kick 25 yards out. 4 minutes after the restart, Dartford added a fourth to all but end the contest before a substitute Lewis Powell provided a dangerous delivery from the right on 72 minutes, which Adams converted at the back post to complete the scoring. Despite the result, there were positives for the Lionesses. Deans impressed between the posts on her debut, while Watling and Lockett looked lively going forward in difficult circumstances. The young Millwall side also benefited from the backing of a vocal crowd at St Paul Sports Ground, who stayed behind to applaud their efforts at full time. The Lionesses will look to regroup quickly and bounce back in their next fixture with plenty still to play for in the season ahead. Myles Thornton, Maritime Radio.
Oh, thanks, Myles. Despite representing Dartford, who were impartial, in fact. Well, thanks to Sky, we host Watford on Monday at 8 p.m. A couple of days extra to recuperate from Selhurst, and maybe some of the squad may have made a recovery. Let's be hopeful. Charlton beat Watford at the Valley before facing us last weekend. They began the season reasonably well, Watford, with 2 draws at home to Southampton and away to Swansea. A home win followed against QPR, then a home defeat by Norwich ahead of the trip to the Valley. After our disappointment of losing at home to Wrexham, we have shown our mettle away against Charlton and Palace. Can we do the same at home, even though we have lost both of our home games? Given our recent results, you might expect our odds of a draw to be the best return. However, the odds for Millwall to win are evens. A draw is 12-5, and a win for Watford is 11-4. These odds suggest a tough challenge for Watford at the Den. So, team, is it a home win or something else? When making your score predictions, remember, you can predict the same score as others. So, what are your predictions? I'll go to you first. Steve, Millwall, Watford.
I think that's going to be 2-1 to Millwall.
How about you, Andy? What do you think?
I'm thinking 3-1 Millwall. Wildly optimistic.
That's really good. And of course, Jeff, what about you?
Well, the concern is that our free scoring front two from last season can't seem to get a goal this season. So a lot will depend on whether they break that duck or whether they don't. I don't think we've got it in us to be clear winners. I think 1-0.
1-0. 1-0.
From a set piece, probably.
Yeah, from a piece that's from the set. Yeah, that'll be good. And my prediction is actually Millwall 2, Watford 0. So we can now move on and talk about the other two games. And I'm going to predict myself for these first. So Leicester Coventry, I've gone 1-1. And I've done the same for Sheffield and Charlton. So over to you, Jeff.
Well, everybody's done 1-1 for Leicester against Coventry, haven't they? I think all three previous forecasts have all been 1-1.
They have, you're correct.
And I can see some sense in that, and I might have done that myself, but it'd be boring for us all to say the same thing. So I'm going to say that it will be 2-1 to Leicester with some very good goals being scored in the game.
Oh, right. I'll have to look out for the highlights of that one on your promise. And how about the Sheffield United Charlton game?
Well, the difference is that Chris Wilder may be back, but his team have left, haven't they? They made a lot of changes in the summer.
They did.
They went in a different direction, something we've heard many times from boards of directors, and as happens quite often, it blew up in their face. I'm not sure if it's humiliating for them to bring Chris back or whether it's brave of them to say we got it wrong. But Chris will have had time to improve the defending at least. So I'm going to say that they keep a clean sheet and edge this game against Charlton 1-0.
So they edge it 1-0. That's good. And on to you, Steve.
Yeah, well, I'm going back to boring. I think it's the Leicester Coventry game is going to be 1-1. I just don't see that much in it.
Get your money on that one, everyone. It's heavily backed. Sheffield United, Charlton?
I think that's 0-0. I reckon old Jaffett's going to sort the defence out. And I think that's it. But I didn't see anything from them that looked like they were going to score either. So I just think 0-0 is probably the best.
Okay. Last but not least, Andy?
Well, rather boringly, I've gone for a draw in Leicester Coventry, but I went for 2-2.
2-2, the Lily White.
More high scoring.
Yeah, really high scoring. And, of course, Sheffield United and Charlton.
I think Sheffield United have scraped this 1-0. I think the Wilder effect, and need to predict a Charlton defeat, really.
Well, let's see what that actually brings. So that's 1-0. Lovely. Thank you. Okay. We also have predictions from Nick Wythe of the Facebook Millwall Sicily site. Let's hear what Nick predicts now.
Hi everyone. Millwall 1, Watford 0. Leicester 1, Coventry 1. Sheffield United 1, Charlton 0. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. We also want to thank Dave Hart, who collates the results. Our second guest has an excellent connection to Millwall as a passionate fan and foremost as a great player for us. He was an FA Youth Cup winner with us. He was sold by the club but returned to play alongside his brother in the squad that secured promotion to the top flight. Let's give a very warm welcome to Phil Coleman.
Hello, Phil.
Hiya.
Hi, Phil.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Phil.
Hiya.
That's it. They've been pretty good on that tonight, Phil. I'm impressed with them. So I might give them
Glad to be on the show again.
Yeah, well, it's always good to have you here. In fact, Phil, it's great to have you here. That's what I'm going to say. And thank you for coming in at late notice.
No problem.
Well, it's been almost a year since you last joined us as a guest. Could you give the listeners a brief overview of your Millwall heritage?
Oh, Eamonn, you just said brief. I'll try and keep it brief. Do you know what? I'm going to put that all down to my dad. Because my dad, when in the 60s and 70s growing up, he took me to all sorts of games. I can remember going to Fulham as a 8 or 9, 10-year-old. I've been to Crystal Palace, Charlton. But there was the 1972-73 season. I went to a game on my own, first game on my own, 12, 13 years old. It was an evening game with me mates. Mates were good guys. They all come off the Ferrier. And if you knew what the Ferrier was like, I was in good company. And they were looking after me. And I remember walking down the Coldblow Lane Terrace halfway. There's this green grass, like a bowling green, under lights. And I had the pleasure from the terraces there to watch Kitch, Alan Dorney, Kingy, Alf Wood. Those four stood out for me, dominant forces on the game. And I had a real buzz. And I can still sense it now. I just know where I was. I was halfway up the terrace, right behind the goal, watching those guys play. And after seeing those two centre-backs in particular, I just wanted to be like them. So I went to nearly every game. The following season, I was leaving school at 3:00 and going to away games as well in my school uniform. I remember going to Aston Villa for a cup game in about 76. But every time I went to school, the training sessions, the PE lessons, the school games on a Saturday morning, I just had those visions of Kitch and Alan Dorney winning headers and just being those defenders. And I just trained my socks off. I took that into the school games. I got selected to play for the district. I played for Blackheath, and then I got playing for London as a county. And I can just say from being a 12 or 13-year-old, those first experiences at the Den, I just worked my backside off and just tried to play like them. And at 15, I signed schoolboy forms, asked to train with the legend that is Billy Neal. But it all came from my dad as a youngster, as an 8, 10-year-old. And then it just spurned onto the terraces, watching those guys and being impressed and suitably indoctrinated into the Millwall life.
How bad was that then, eh? And we mentioned some of your highlights there. The FA Youth Cup, scoring that goal in the final. What a star you were. And you were never put off. You were never put off even when the club sold you. You come back again and helped us to get back up to the top flight. Well,
yeah, when you're a supporter, Eamonn, that's my club. I was born in Woolwich and I lived near the ground. All my mates, you're into that way of life. You're blue and white, and you're Millwall. And it's almost. I look back now and I think I wasn't craving it. I wanted to be a player, but I never had the first idea that as a fan I'd be a player and that I'd have some success. And yeah, I've had some spells where I was out of football, I was in football, but I played for Millwall on 2 occasions, and I've got a unique story about the FA Youth Cup, and all my mates all signed pro, and we all played in the first team, and I came back again and played beside my brother. Few people get to do that, let alone 2 Millwall fans playing beside each other at the Den and in the team that won the bloody league. So I know I worked hard at it, but I was also blessed and that I got to play for my local club. So the team that I supported. So, yeah, I'm thankful for that.
And we're thankful that you did as well. We're thankful, absolutely.
Hi, Phil. Got a question, a sort of more current question, actually. What are your thoughts on the EFL's, rumours at the moment about adding an eliminator round to the Championship playoffs and increasing the number of teams from 4 to 6 in the mix?
Personally, I'm all in favour. And I'll tell you why. The National League South and National League North and the National League itself have been doing it for a while now. And the club I coached recently, until recently, Braintree Town, they benefited from it. They got into that eliminator, they won it, they got into the playoff, they won it, and they got promoted from the National League South into the National League. They might have been 20 points off the top or even 20 points off the playoffs, but they had a chance. As I understand it, the Premier League have sought to reject it because they think some of the clubs that might be involved are not good enough, not ready, not strong enough. But I looked at the league today, and the last season's top 14 have all got the structure to allow them to play in the Premier League. They've got the big grounds, they've got the finances. Watford were 14th. The likes of West Brom, Middlesbrough, Blackburn, and ourselves, we are in an infinitely better position where if there was that eliminator round and there was 6 teams vying for it, we'd be in a good position to win, in effect, 2 or 3 cup finals. It will definitely keep the season open longer. It will make the season competitive for longer. There'll be more top clubs at the top fighting for longer. There'll be more opportunities to get promoted. Well, that's their mentality. It will still be the same number that go up, but there'll be more opportunities. And also, the clubs might have to look at themselves and say, do you know what? We need to get ourselves into order here because we've got another a longer extended chance of getting into that playoff and getting into the Premier League. So for me, I think it's a good thing, and it certainly has worked in the National League.
I think it'd be good. I think we'll have a chance then. I think at the moment, we keep missing out on that top 6. So
it was a bonkers league last year, Andy, because I think at one stage half the league could get promoted and half the league could be relegated. That is the Championship never ceases to amaze me. Everybody beats everybody. You never know when the better teams will be at the top. And if you've got that structure in place and you've got good players and a good manager, good youngsters coming through, a squad in depth, you could be in with a shout for the whole of the season rather than petering out for the month of April and May. So I think it will be a good thing if it's brought in.
Thanks, Phil.
Hi, Phil. It's Jeff back here again. I agree with what you just said. I do agree with you. It certainly would suit us. I mean, how many times would we have been involved? If it had been down to 8th, or certainly still playing to be in the top 8 right at the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it would suit us. How arrogant of the Premier League to think that they might be demeaned by having someone other than one of their parachute clubs come back up. So I hope that comes in. It may well be that the regulator will have something to say about it, and it could lead to the National League having 2 automatic promotion teams and 1 in the playoff to mirror what's been suggested there.
I'll also say this, Jeff. Some of those National League games, South and North, they had huge, massive crowds and fantastic atmospheres. It's almost like their non-league cup finals. When you're looking at non-league teams getting 5,000 and 6,000 crowds, where they're normally averaging 1,500. This is great for the clubs that are playing in these knockout finals. It's absolutely brilliant. It generates so much interest as well. So great for the fans as well to be involved.
And I think crowds will go up towards the end of the league programme when fans see that their teams are vying for a place in the playoffs. So
just keeps
I
the
can
whole
see
thing
benefits
open longer.
all round. Yeah. My memory of you is scoring that goal in the Youth Cup final. That will stay with me forever. I was desperate for Millwall to win that cup. Desperate. And one of the best days ever for me. Please listen now to what Alex Neil said after the Palace game.
The following audio clip is provided by Millwall Football Club media team. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be honest, we were disappointed we didn't win the game and get through, because I thought the performance over the 90 minutes was super. What we need to bear in mind is we lost the goalkeeper basically before the game in the warm-up. We lost Dan Kelly after 20 minutes. We lost Mass and Luke for the squad after the last game. We made 8 changes. We've got a lot of young lads. Some of them can't even speak English at the moment. And we drilled them in a different shape in one day. So to come here and put that level of performance on and be as good, if not at times probably a little bit better, I couldn't be any more proud. When you talk about resilience and you talk about adversity and things going wrong but not feeling sorry for yourself and getting on with it, that's what we are, that's what we did, and I couldn't be any prouder of them.
Considering what you observed in the game at Palace, Phil, and what Alex Neil has just mentioned, even with a depleted squad, as I said earlier, very, very, very young and inexperienced. I've been curious. What are your thoughts about what's coming up, and what do you think we might? Do you think we might really miss Japhet Tanganga?
I think you'd have to be incredibly biased to not see that Millwall's young players performed brilliantly against Palace the other night. They worked so hard. They closed down. I was impressed with their physicality. They matched them. They knocked them over. They put the ball in. They bossed Premier League players at times. They also showed that they could play, that they've got the ability. I like the change of formation and I like the tactics. We were right pushing high press, as they call it these days. I think it suited us. It stopped Palace playing, completely stopped them. Yeah, they might have had the first 20 minutes, but for me, you'd never have known who was the Premier League team out of the two. And there were periods in the end of the first half, we just looked the best team. I will say this, that the story of a very short season to date is we keep missing great chances. We didn't take our chances against Wrexham. We didn't take them the other night. And they're not just chances, they're very good chances. They're not half and half chances. So, if that is improved and we can take those chances, we'll be knocking Crystal Palace out of the cup and we'll be a lot further up the league. The one thing that I fear, and I've mentioned this before, no matter how good those young players are, this league is brutal. It's so tough. And young players can be inconsistent. They were brilliant the other night. Can they maintain it? Jeff, you mentioned about my FA Youth Cup winning team. We were the best team in the country and we'd all signed long contracts. But you couldn't have 7 or 8 of us in Division 1 as it is now or the Championship as we got relegated from, because we didn't have enough experience and we didn't have a spine of experience running through the team. You're looking at John Jackson, Mel Blythe, Barry Kitchener, John Mitchell. That was probably Nicky Chatterton. That was probably the only experience we had in the change rooms. 5 players and 14 kids. So whilst they're talented players, I think they need to come in and out. I loved the like of Wes Hartley, who I thought was absolutely outstanding against Palace the other night. And the other experience of players around them, they need that experience to lead and guide them, to demand from them, to pull them back when we're under pressure. Hey, stop attacking. I need you to screen and sit. But those young players need to play and be exposed to the league, but also need to be dropped and brought out of the team. And so play 3, drop out for a couple, grow, be coached, develop. Unfortunately, I think that with the injuries that we've got as a club, there's no real choice. You've just got to play them. In some cases, they will sink or swim. The other night, they swam magnificently well. What was the other point, Jeff? Tanganga, I think it's time to move on. I think we made great money from him. I think he came in, he clearly an incredibly talented centre-back. He's a great defender. He's probably underachieved in the move that he's got. He could have gone far better, far higher, a club that's probably challenging at the top consistently, or even a Premier League. But that's down to him and his finances and his agent and whatever. But I think we've moved on. And I'm going to say this now, if I can remember correctly. I think we've got 6 centre-backs that can do a very, very good job. And there's a balance of experience and youth. Cooper, I'm not his fan. But Harding, Leonard can play there. And young Kamal Grant showed that he is equal to playing against Crystal Palace. The 2 that I'm really excited about is Crammer and Caleb Taylor. Those 2 the other night for me were absolutely brilliant. I rate Crammer highly because I've seen more of him. But Caleb Taylor came in and he just looked absolutely quality. So I think the formation suited them as well. But the future at the back looks really great. And then I'll factor in, we've also got injured defenders that are nowhere near the squad. Danny McNamara, the boy on the left side, Brian, even Alfie Doughty. I mean, he could probably play as a left back or a left wing back. So I think we've moved on very quickly from Tanganga. And when I see the likes of Crammer and Caleb Taylor, my God, I think there's 2 very young, talented, fast, athletic centre-backs that were not put off by Crystal Palace's strike force in one particular player. I thought they knocked him around and dealt with him absolutely brilliantly. So I think we're well served and we've moved on from Tanganga.
Phil, you obviously had, as a defender yourself, you obviously had your analytical eyes on that back 3. They all did well. Very pleased with Kamal Grant. Very pleased. But I'd like to ask you about Raïs Bangura Williams. We started the game with two 20-year-olds in midfield as our two holding midfield players. Then we lost Danny. We had to move Ryce back into centre midfield. I thought he was really, really good. After a slow start to the season through injury, he looks like the player we saw at the end of last season. The other one I'd like you to comment on would be Jack Howland, who got his first assist in the first team with that corner for Ryan. What did you think of those two in particular?
Reece has shown that he is a player. I might. This might sound a bit. I actually think he's probably better than Esse. I just see better glimpses. I see better work rate. I think he's flexible. He can play in a range of positions, and he's a threat on and off the ball. I've not seen too much of Howland, to be honest with you, Jeff. But the boy that struck me the other night was the boy Saka. Physical, work rate, energy, wanted to get on the ball, was not daunted in any way, shape, or form. So I have no idea where he's come from. But for me, in watching a game the other night, somebody has done a great job scouting, particularly some of these young players that we brought in. We've created our own in Kamal Grant, and that's absolutely brilliant to see. A big, strong, mobile, athletic centre back. Obviously, Wes Harding looked after him. Obviously, Crammer was talking to him. But there's some young players in that team, Jeff. They are the future of the club, providing they're not burnt out and not abused. Not abused in that sense, but abused in terms of constantly played and not dropped in and dropped out and not looked after. So I hope the club can manage their workload, shall we call it, rather than abused. But I think, Reece is a talented player. Loved a lot the idea of Sacco, and obviously that young centre back has got so much to offer. And we've got players missing, Jeff. Alfie Doughty, you've got Aziz. These people can come back in the team. So there's going to be competition for places. And I think I've said on this show before, when you've got competition for places and the youngsters are hungry, a lot of those lads the other night have had a sniff at the first team at that level in front of that crowd in a big League Cup tie. And if that doesn't motivate them, I don't know what is. So competition for places, and they've had a few tasters of the first team. So I think it's all positive on that front. But we need to look after the young players, because in my day, we were chucked in too early for too long. And then he who shall not be mentioned came along and was the coup de grace, really. So you've got to look after these young players. But they're certainly talented, Jeff. Talented.
Yeah, Steve here, Phil. How are you?
Hi, Steve. All good, mate. Good to see you the other day.
Yeah, it was good. Nice meeting you. You were up in the lounges against Wrexham and you were interviewed by Brian Horn. What did you make of the setup up there, and what was it like sitting beside Brian Horn instead of having your back to him all game?
Good one.
Yeah, or he comes out and punches me in the back of the head or knees me in the spine. Yeah. Or I room with him and he's snoring for most of the night and I couldn't get to sleep. Yeah, so it was great. It was great. Horny interviewed me. I will say that the three lounges up there, for fans that are not aware, Doherty's, number 11, named after Billy Neal, the shirt he wore, and the 1885. There are three different types of lounge. They have had a stunning makeover. You wouldn't even know you were at a football ground. I think me and Horney spoke about it's more like being in a top London restaurant. From the minute you walk in the door, you're greeted. There's a free drink of wine, champagne, beer, whatever you want. The food is 5-star. It's magnificent. The service is fantastic. Can't do enough for you. And even the toilets. There's a little story here, because Horney said to me, I'm going to interview you in front of the crowd. About 200 in there, having their meals and that. And just before Horney, I went to the loo. And when I came out, I must have looked a bit stunned, because he said to me in front of everybody, "You all right?" I said, "I've just been in those toilets. I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe the state of the toilets. Absolutely magnificent. Like you're absolutely in a 5-star hotel, the toilets and where you were sitting." But it was great. It was great sitting amongst those fans. Great chatting about old times. I told a few stories. At one stage, I got them laughing about how I got myself sent off to get a train home from Exeter. So I'll tell fans that another day, because it's a bit naughty. But yeah, it must have cost a bit of money to do it up, and it cost a bit of money to go in there. But it is a fantastic experience, and it's well worth it, even if you go in there once. You know, I've been in there, totally impressed. If it goes well, Steve, I think it will make the club a lot of decent income, particularly on the corporate side. We've now got very, very good corporate facilities for people to invest into the club. So I think it's a big step forward. It's not going to suit every fan, because some people, I appreciate they can't afford 20 quid, £25 to get in the place. So to be asking for £200 for a 3-course meal in that environment is an awful lot of money. But if you have got it, or it's a Christmas present or a birthday present, I would highly recommend having a day out. Get there about 12:30. You're entertained, you're looked after to the nth degree with a lovely meal and fantastic facilities. So it was good. And Horney does a good job in there interviewing the players and keeping the fans involved during that couple of hours before the game.
Yeah, I've been up there when he's done interviews before before they made the changes, and he's always a good laugh. So but I think those facilities are the right thing. I think it's a sign of the future. It's a sign of intent of where we want to be. And you can have the pie and mash if you want outside, or you can come in and maybe, as you say, once in a while just splash out.
Yeah, you're dead right. We've put the facilities outside for the fans that want to be at the bus or in that area there where the food is. We've got Harry's Bar, but now we've got 3 different types of corporate where you can actually have 5-star and 4-star. I think 1885 is even more expensive. I think it's a 5-star gourmet chef cooked food in there. But I think we've now got facilities to cater for just about everybody. And I hope it's a success because it will actually help the club make money and invest in the playing side.
Yeah, I agree.
Phil, we have 3 more inductees to the Forever Lions Club when we play Watford.
Brilliant.
Tony Cascarino, Paul Robinson and Scott Fitzgerald. Recognising Millwall's heritage is a must for a club and for me, but that must include its players. What's your take on this approach?
3 poor players there, aren't they, Eamonn? God, dear me.
Terrible,
terrible players.
Couple of Irish internationals and some other bloke. Yeah,
3 top players. All
2
big
more bloody centre-backs, though. 2 more centre-backs.
I'm totally in favour of centre-backs, Jeff. I can't think why. Yeah, let's keep the centre-backs coming in. But, Eamonn, it's long overdue. As you know, and as we've spoken over probably years now, I've championed it for years. Top clubs have former or ex-players associations, and they do so much for their ex-players. You go to Liverpool, Kenny Dalglish, Ian Rush. Every club has their ex-players back. I just spoke to Mickey Hazard a couple of weeks ago, and he's an ambassador at Spurs for every game in the exec lounges. He just wanders up, and the fans are there. They pay their £200 for the seat, and they get to talk to Mickey Hazard, and he tells them a few stories. So it enhances the match day experience for people that are shelling out a lot of money. I'm glad the ex-players are being recognised. Those 3 have been fantastic for the club. They put their heart and soul into it, and football in general. And Cass is still doing it. He's still talking about football. And for me, the fans want to see and hear from ex-players. There might be some 30-year-olds in the crowd that have no idea about the FA Youth Cup of 1979.
No.
All they see is on a Wikipedia stat, or we bring it to life. I can bring it to life. So I also, I'm going to mention that a year or so ago, I did the Mill Heritage Walk around Docklands with the guys that run it. And it brings home to you exactly where the club has come from. And who started it, where it was started, where the management in 1885, 1890 held their meetings in a pub. They got changed in a pub, where they played, and then how far the club has come from 1885 on Docklands.
Absolutely.
But also, Eamonn and the team, I love being with the fans and answering questions. I mean, you probably find me in Harry's Bar most games when I'm down. And people come up and say, who's the best player you played with, and what was Teddy like, and what was Cass like, and what was it like playing next to your brother? And they actually take an interest in the past. They talk about my playing time and the players I played beside. There's nothing better for me than to engage with fans and tell them a few stories. So for me, that Forever Lions Club is a great start, Eamonn, and I'd love to see more ex-players at the ground every game. I think it would enhance the matchday experience. And I've mentioned to you as well about clubs I've been at. I play for Wrexham, and they have golf days, they have bowls days, they have ex-players meals with fans that make tens of thousands of pounds because the fans just pay for the 3-course meal. If you're going to sit on the table next to the ex-players and have a beer and talk all night. So whatever else involves ex-players and fans, I think it's a great thing. Listen, the club's got a rich history. You can talk about anything with Mill, from coming from the other side of the Thames to the old Den, to the 70s and the violence, to Mickey Purse's showrooms, you name it, the FA Cup final. We've got a rich history. Some people were there and some people want to know about it. And I think if we celebrate it, we keep it alive. We keep that history alive. So, great. Well done to everybody that got it off the ground.
Yeah, we got to. Anyhow, before you leave us, there is Ted's Prediction League. I'm going to ask you to predict 3 scores in the championship. You're well aware of this. The best score predictor will be rewarded at the end of the season. So you could be a winner. So here we go, Phil. What's your prediction for Millwall versus Watford?
If we perform and the formation and the structure as we did against Crystal Palace, I just see a 2-0 win against Watford, and we could be quite dominant. 2-0.
Well, I'd agree with you on that as well. And what about Leicester and Coventry?
2 teams at the top end. I'm going to go Leicester 1, Coventry 2.
That's a bit different. Yeah.
Yep.
And Sheffield United versus Charlton.
Now, this was one where I asked my wife about this one, and dear me, I won't do it again. She said Sheffield United are right at the bottom. Charlton played well against Millwall, so she's gone Sheffield United 0, Charlton 3. But that was before the new manager took over, and I have no doubt that there will be a bounce from that new manager going in there. I wouldn't be at all surprised if it's a big home win, but she'll also kill me if I change the score. So it's going to be Sheffield United, Charlton 0-3.
Yeah, you've got to watch out for a woman's something or other, I think.
And that pays me being a Millwall fan and giving Charlton 3-0. God damn it.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Phil. We look forward to chatting with you again and enjoying your thoughts on the game. All the best to you and your loved ones. Bye for now, and, we'll speak anyhow.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Thanks, Eamonn. Thanks, team. Loved it. Thanks again.
They might say
good night, Phil. Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Good night from all of us.
Catch up with you at the West Brom game. Look forward to seeing some of you.
It'll be good.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers, Phil. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Phil Coleman. We'll take a break there and listen to Bethany.
Our Millwall Community Trust Lions Centre has a 4G football pitch where 9 versus 9 can play, a sports hall, classrooms and a cafe. To access these state-of-the-art facilities in a safe and positive environment, get in touch on 0207 740 0503.
Anyway, I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the No One Likes Us talking team of Andy Pettman, Steve Warren and Jeff Burnige. If you can utilise the Lions Centre, you will help out Millwall Community Trust deliver its programmes across all age groups of our community. Well, we're all looking forward to the next game, but in the meantime, here are a few matters of interest for Millwall fans and those interested in football.
Bethany Manxlow will happily host next Friday's show once again, joined by the always insightful Ted Robinson, the relaxed and cheerful Dave Hart, fresh from a sunny island, and the passionate media advocate Stan Godwin, plus a couple of guests.
The new EFL Supporters Survey 2025-26 is now open, and it's your chance to share your thoughts on all things Millwall and the EFL. Your feedback will help Millwall out and the EFL improve and move the game forward. How can you do this? Just visit the club's website. It's quick and simple. Plus, everyone who participates will be entered into a draw to win some fantastic prizes. Your voice matters, so why don't you do it? Don't miss out.
The Millwall Lionesses are thrilled to invite you to their Women's FA Cup match against Chislehurst Glebe this Sunday at Foxbury Avenue off Perry Street, BR7 6SD. The game kicks off at 2 p.m. and it's a London derby that should be full of energy and passion. We'd be delighted to have you there, cheering us on as we strive to get back to winning ways and get into the next round of the Women's FA Cup. From all of us at No One Likes Us Talking, all the best to our fellow broadcaster and Millwall Lioness, Mia Lockett. Have a great game.
You can listen to the No One Likes Us Talking team as they provide reports from our games, both home and away, for the Lions, Lionesses, Romans and Pride. You'll also receive updates on Millwall community matters on Maritime Radio, broadcasting on 96.5 FM or via their website. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, formerly Twitter, YouTube, Spreaker, and all popular podcast platforms, along with our website, millwallnolutalking.com. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Eamonn.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks, Eamonn.
And thank you, Jeff.
Thanks very much, Eamonn. Really enjoyed it.
Great stuff. And a big thank you to all for tuning in. Tonight, we will play out with a Las Vegas version of Let 'Em Come, as created by our very own Andy Pettman. Finally, let's not forget to keep it safe on the streets out there. Good night.
Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em all come down to the den. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, we'll only have to beat 'em again. It's the best team in London, oh, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em all come down to the den. It's Saturday in Cold Blow Lane, we've all come down to cheer. We've had our jellied eels and our glass of beer. Come rain or shine, our families will bring. And as the Lions run on the pitch, everyone will sing. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em all come down to the den. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, we'll only have to beat 'em again. It's the best team in London, oh, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em all come down to the den. It's Saturday in Cold Blow Lane, we've all come down to cheer. We've had our jellied eels and our glass of beer. Come rain or shine, our families will bring. And as the Lions run on the pitch, everyone will sing.
Our Millwall Fan Show is sponsored by G&M Motors of Gravesend, Honda dealers and much more. Thank you.